What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Day Trading Show. In today's episode, me and James are joined again for round two with Omar. We talk about the inflation print this week. We talk about him trading EurUsd. We talk about the Giants. We talk about a lot of stuff. So sit back and enjoy another awesome interview. All right, everybody, welcome back. We are here again with Omar, round two. What's up, brother? It's good to see you. How you been?
Hey guys, how you doing, man? Yeah, I've been doing well, man. Just keeping up with the markets. You know how that is going.
Oh, bro, trust me, I know, especially today after the inflation news, it's been a little bit crazy over the last couple of weeks. Right. So we'll get into some inflation stuff in a second here. I know that the group has been growing. I know that your Twitter has been growing. You've been blowing up on Twitter. And that's another reason I wanted to get you back on, is to talk about some of the things that you've found that have helped you gain a lot of traction on social media. Because I think that that's something that a lot of people look to and want to learn from when they're trying to grow their own personal brand, even if it's not in trading. You know, there's still value to be had there. But James, I know, has some questions for you as well, because I know you guys are both still trading Forex pairs. So catch us up, bro. Since we spoke last, what's been new? I know enrollment opened up for your education program, and then you kind of shut that down. You've opened it and closed that a few times since we spoke, but you've been trading a lot of EurUsd. Is that correct?
Yeah, man. So pretty much like I've always been like Euro's always been kind of like my main pair, even since the last time we've talked. Like I'll still watch like S&P and Bitcoin every now and then.
Yeah.
But in terms of Forex, it's pretty much just Euro. I've cut out like majority. I used to watch like dollar CAD and GU, but then I kind of realized like if majority of the times, if like let's say the euro is bullish, right,
Yeah.
we're most likely going to have a bullish pound or bearish dollar CAD, or that one of them might be consolidating, or euro might be consolidating, one of them might be moving, right? Because they're not 100% correlated. So I'm like, you know what? Instead of like watching all these other things, let me just focus on euro. And then yeah, man, yeah, that's kind of just been the trajectory now. I'll watch S&P and Bitcoin though, just because like sometimes if euro's not moving or the move in euro that I was looking for already kind of passed, then I'll go watch S&P or Bitcoin. But that's kind of like more secondary type of thing after I watch EU.
Yeah.
But yeah, just kind of been trading EU since we last spoke. Yeah, I've opened up the academy. I like to do only a couple enrollments, man, just because I don't like to have it like completely open. Because I don't want, at the end of the day, like enrollment period, whether it's like a 2 or 3 day thing. So in terms of like the back end, making sure everyone's like properly situated and there's like no issues on that side of like, in terms of administrative side, because I'm just like a one-man shop. I don't have any assistants as of right now. But yeah, so that's kind of why I like to do it that way. But yeah, man, things have been good since we've last spoke.
Nice. That's all good to hear. I love that. So first question, why haven't you hired a team yet, bro, to help you start creating more content? What's the next move to grow your brand and grow your business? Are you going to hire a video guy? What are you doing?
Yeah, so I'm actually talking, some guy hit me up in terms of like doing like video edits for like my YouTube channel. So I'm kind of like in talks with him right now, because I honestly, in terms of social media, because Instagram, I want to grow my Instagram, but it's like I feel like Instagram relative to like Twitter and YouTube isn't the best for traders, in my opinion, right? I mean, I could be wrong. I don't have any stats to deal to kind of like really quantify that. But for me, I just feel like the well, YouTube, I feel like YouTube, no matter what, is going to be the most loyal audience that you're going to have, because people are watching long form content on there. Twitter, I've been doing well on there. So it's like, if it's not broke, don't fix it type of thing.
Right.
Plus, I'm not really a picture guy. I don't like the whole picture thing. So it's like to do all of that for Instagram. I might get into like the Instagram real game because the guy I'm talking with, who's going to do like my YouTube edits, most likely going to move forward with him soon. He said he can convert like some of those clips into like Instagram reels. So that's kind of like the goal planning. And one thing about personal branding, right? I think, like it's so weird, man, because so many people, I haven't gotten as much hate as that when I first opened up the academy, right? Because I think people kind of opened up to the idea, like, all right, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, maybe I just blocked them all or something, but but nonetheless, I kind of realized like, but dude, like it's just so weird because with personal branding, I think so many people have it twisted in terms of thinking it's well, this guy's only trying to make money off like some sort of education. But like what people fail to realize, man, when you have a personal brand, you can venture off into multiple different things. You can get multiple different connections. And let's just say, I remember James, actually, we were doing we did a space on Twitter, and we were talking about like, you know, prop firms and gaining capital from actual private investors. And what people don't realize, when you have a good personal brand, you're able to actually access that type of individuals with those type of net worth, right? Because if I'm just sitting at home just trading my own capital, right, and let's just say I have a goal in terms of like, let's say I want to acquire 10-20 million dollars from various investors, right? I'm not going to have that network if I don't have a personal brand. Nowadays, you kind of need a personal brand if you want to, for anything. And again, like I understand some people just want to trade, and that's all for them. You know what I mean? I could respect that. Everyone has their own different, like, you know, goals and different types of like things that they prefer. But for me personally, I just, you know, I just think that it's kind of silly for people to think that a trader has to be set only on trading. They can't be working on creating content to grow their brand and stuff like that. I just think it's a little foolish, to be honest. If that's not someone's like cup of tea and preference, then fine, but like don't criticize others who are willing to do that. But dude, how long, like, dude, we're all traders, right? How long are we really trading for besides like, you know, one session, maybe three hours, 4 hours maximum? Like there's like, when you're awake, there's about 16 hours in the day. You know,
right? And I think it, like you said, it points to people's insecurities when it comes to entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship is really hard. Like it's a lot easier to have a steady job and then just trade on the side, because then you know you're making at least X amount of money per month. But when you go full entrepreneur, there's no safety net. You know, you can build a safety net, but there's nothing guaranteed. So it's you know, people 100%. Are scared to do that. So when they see somebody else doing it and getting attention, then it kind of triggers some people. Some people support it, and then they want to work together like I do. And I pull guys in like James and Tom, and I like to use everybody to level us all up. But then some people will be like, you know, F that bald guy. Fuck that bald guy.
I think I just want to chip in as well. Like, so there's a couple of things I want to say as well. I think first off, the people that criticize it they don't realize actually how hard it is. I mean, as Omar was saying, you're a one-man show. Austin was a one-man show with Riley. Okay, well, them two. And then they pulled in guys like me, Tom, Jerome, Lindsay, whatever, to help him. Right now, Omar's literally where you started, Austin, when you were building your personal brand and your outside of the trading thing, right? And the second thing I also want to say, and I definitely agree with you, Omar, is that so my dad's an accountant, right, with his own accounting practice. But yet he has another business on the side. And also he invests in stocks himself. That's like telling an accountant, no, you can't invest in stocks in that because why aren't you just an accountant?
Right.
Well, bro, that's fucking stupid, because he can be making other money on the side as well, on top of his accounting practice. It's like being a trader and then saying, no, you can't just trade all the time. Okay, well, what happens if I've got spare time, as you say, I want to make money on the side doing other things too, using my entrepreneurial brain, you know?
No, and people will always hate, 100%. You know, there's always going to be haters. No matter what you do, someone will talk shit. So it's about just blocking that out, like you said, Omar, and sticking to what you believe in. So that's awesome to hear that you're thinking about bringing the video guy on. In the long form videos are good to build that loyal audience, but I think TikTok is killing everybody's attention span, and short form videos like YouTube shorts have been doing really good for me, almost more views than my normal videos. So it's interesting to see how like you want to use the platforms, but also still play to where everybody's attention and what's currently hot kind of thing, you know? So with your Twitter though, bro, 100%. Your Twitter is blowing up, and we all would agree. And I think we said this last time we spoke, that there's way more serious traders, I think, on Twitter than on Instagram. So I totally 100%. Agree with you also in looking to like give that more time than Instagram. So what do you think has led to you? Like, why are your tweets blowing up, bro? Like, you're about to catch me in followers if you haven't already. And I feel like you've just kind of blown up recently. What do you do do you think like this is going to go viral? Or do you just tweet what comes off the mind and it's just because it's real? That's what relates with people.
Yeah, you know what it is, man. Like that's the craziest part about like Twitter. When I first got on the platform, I've had a Twitter since like 2018, but that was only because when I joined the ICT mentorship, he would only communicate to the students on Twitter. So I kind of just had to make a Twitter.
Right.
But I wasn't really tweeting or anything like that. I was just doing it just to keep up to dates. If he posted a new video, if he wanted, like, you know, if he was like, because sometimes he would teach through Twitter. So that's the reason why I made it. And then I got involved in it actually this year. I don't even remember honestly how like I even got I think it was because I posted maybe an FTMO draw or something like that. And then I think that got traction. And then that's when a lot of people started following me. And then I like, obviously the more results that you post on Twitter is a lot easier to go more viral. Like you can kill it on Instagram, post it, even if you post a reel, but you really won't go viral like that. On Twitter, it's pretty easy because you could just retweet. So I guess when I was like doing all the withdrawals, passing some challenges early on this year, like, got a lot of traction. But nowadays, man, it's just, I don't know. I think it's also like relatability. Like I think that's what people kind of resonate with when I tweet. Like I don't have like I know some people will do like a schedule because on Twitter, like I'm pretty sure you guys know, like you can actually schedule tweets.
Yep.
And I was thinking about that, but I'm like, you know what, like, because I don't want to be the person who's always like super, super serious. Like, what I mean? And how much cliche stuff do people always say on Twitter? So I just try to keep it a little bit original. And I like to try to just be honest with my own experience. And that's the thing, it's funny. I think with social media, so many people put this a mirage of, like, oh yeah, I'm this disciplined trader all the time. I'm this all the time. I'm this, I'm doing things like buy the book, you know what I mean? But it's just silly because that's not how reality works, right? A perfect example, I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with Tom Dante. He was like also one of my mentors. Like, dude, he has a video, two-part series where he talks about his experience with prop firms. Mind you, he's like one of those traders that actually traded with people who are well known in the industry who've made tens of millions of dollars, right? So he has credibility. And he said all the people that were trading on the floor with them, like a lot of them didn't, and you guys can listen to the stories too on his YouTube. It's like, dude, none of them did anything by the books. None of them used stop losses. They always averaged down. And like he said, like he wasn't advocating it, but he just said, and he said one of the most profitable guys there. He was like this really aggressive and volatile like guy. You know what I mean? He never had his emotions in check, but like when it came to trading, he was still able to execute. You know what I mean? He was like an anomaly, but like that's the thing. Like it's not a one size fits all. So when people post like tweets or whatever, like, oh yeah, how things should be as a trader and stuff like that, you know what I mean? I think sometimes me just trying to be a little bit more relatable and trying to keep it as realistic as possible, but with also like, offering like some sort of value within the tweets. I think that's what's really been helping, you know what I mean? And 100%. Also I think sharing the tweets, that when you share personal experiences, whether it's good or bad, I think people can resonate with it because I mean, dude, if we all talk about a bad experience we've had in trading, it's probably all very similar. Like we all over leveraged it one trade one time, or we did, we did something stupid that we shouldn't have, and it's relatable. So I think that's what people can appreciate versus someone who's trying to act like they're like this 100% perfect trader. They never mess up. And it's just annoying because sometimes people will criticize. I mean, obviously I get a lot more like, appreciation than like people being negative. But like people will be like, oh, well, why are you doing this? Why is your stop loss 20 pips? I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Why? I'm my stop loss is 20 pips, but like we could get it all into like trading and stuff like that. But it's like, dude, like some guy was saying, because I had like, I think it was like a 9-lot position on. He was like, why is your stop loss 20 pips? You're risking X amount. I'm like, yeah, I know that. I calculated how much I was going to lose if it hits stop loss. And it's not like it's just weird, dude. It just people are weird. They expect like everything has to be done a specific way or you're not a trader, which is couldn't be farthest from the truth.
That's a good one right there. That's a good one-liner right there. It's very true. It is not a one size fits all. Literally, bro, right before you got on the call, James, what were we talking about? How you are coaching this guy. So we have the Black Shirt Club. We told you about that mentorship group we're running. Yeah. When we have people come in, we try to pair them with either me, Tom, or James based on their skills and what the previous trading experience is. And I put this new guy, Steve, with James because they both, I could tell, trade similarly, more aggressive. James, what did you say to me right before we started the stream?
Yeah, I said, Steve's definitely a more aggressive trader. He wants to take like 5, 6, 7 trades in a day.
But we also said that in him doing that doesn't mean it won't make money. And that's why I wanted James to coach him, because I knew James could help him probably figure out how to do that better than a guy like me who does not take 7 trades in a day. I don't know if I could be the best coach for him because it is not a one size fits all. You really got to try to align with somebody who is like similar to you and help. I think that's what can kind of shortcut the learning curve for some people, because then that person is guiding them a little bit. So you said Tom Dante is one of your mentors. Who else comes to mind when you think of mentors? I'm curious to know who's influenced you, even if it's somebody that you watch their YouTube channel all the time. Like that's mentorship in a way,
Yeah, 100%. So ICT, I always give credit to them. People think I don't like them. I just
no. You give them. We gave them good credit last time too.
Yeah, I know, but it's just weird because it's like, God forbid you have any critique. You know,
God forbid, bro. Right. Like,
right.
Dude, but you know what? But people can go and tweet, bro. Have you seen all these people tweeting me memes of the little guy from Jumanji with the beard? I look like the guy who turns into a monkey from Jumanji, Robin, right? So people can go say that to me all the time and be tweeting that at me. We laugh at that. But then when you turn around and want to give criticism, God forbid, like, come on. So yeah, ICT for sure.
Yeah, man, it's just crazy. But yeah, I give ICT credit. You know, there's this group on Instagram. That's the one that I learned like a lot about market structure, and which I utilize a lot of it in my own trading today. It was called WWA. Okay. It's like 3 guys named Wakir, Alex, and I think his name was Wally. So it's like a 3-man team. Cool. They had like a big instrumental piece into like, you know, how I trade today. Tom Dante, I think was the most. He's really, I think, out of all of the mentors that I've had, like whether like even if it's on YouTube and stuff like that, like people that I watch consistently, he's kind of had like the most impact. Him and S&B Capital, those two have had like the most impact in terms of how I like to like do things routinely, how I like to kind of view the market from a mental standpoint. And Tom Dante, he's just like, that's the thing, I couldn't resonate with him a lot, and that's why I ended up like, you know, paying for some of his modules that he had on his website, was because I want to see also how, like, you know, if I can extract things from like the technical side, but also in terms of like, you know, his experiences from prop, his own experiences, how he likes to keep it real. Like if you guys watch any of his content on YouTube, he doesn't really post that much anymore. It's like old content, but it's just resonating where he just keeps it honest, where he talks about like, you know, all the things that he goes through, all the things that the top traders. And again, I just like people with credibility, because if he was working with a firm with some guy who was making $25 million, $50 million, you know what I mean? Like that's experience that you can genuinely learn from.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, Tom Dante was pretty instrumental into like the mindset, how to approach it. Because, you know, like, because some people think that just from a technical standpoint, but it's like once you have to have the proper approach in actually, you know, going in day by day. So that's why Tom Dante, he's been instrumental with SM as well as S&B Capital. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and Sang Lucci. I think Sang Lucci is another one as well.
Gotta give Lucci the credit.
Sang Lucci.
I wonder if we'll have to make sure that I'll send this to him, bro, and make sure he gets that he knows he gets his shout out. He'll like that. He's a good guy.
There's one guy as well.
Yeah.
Omar, there's one guy as well. I think you interact with quite a lot on Twitter. He also talks about like disciplined trader and whatever. He throws out the windows. Stock guard. What's his name?
Oh yeah, SG. Yeah.
SG. Yeah. He's quite 100%. Cool. I like him.
Yeah, and you know, that's the thing I like about how he keeps it honest as well, because like a lot of people won't admit that they trade aggressive. And like it's just so weird because, dude, my biggest months have always been trading aggressive. You know what I mean? The top traders, they all not all of them, but like a lot of them talk about how some guy from S&B Capital named Lance, he's also on Twitter. Mm-hmm. Lance Brightstein. Mm-hmm. So he talks about how, and mind you, he's an 8-figure 2-time in a year back-to-back trader. Yep. One of the top trader in his prop firm. So he has the credibility to speak on these things. I'm not just bringing up some random person I saw on Twitter.
Right.
And, you know, and he talks about how he's super aggressive. Obviously, you know, he has statistics to back up when to go big. But he realized, like, dude, how many times, and I think the audience can also resonate with this. Dude, how many days out of the week do you really kill it? You know what I mean? Right. I've noticed for me, I only kill it maybe like this week, not even that many days, because like every time I felt like I held because of like the euro was in the crazy consolidation pretty much all week waiting for the CPI report. Like I feel like I gave up so many floating profit just because I was trying to hold for a bigger move that ended up happening today, which I still miss, which is crazy. But like that's the reality with trading, right? But like reality, if you can, and not every week is the same. So if you find a week where 100%, man, and that's the thing. How many times is there a specific week where you're looking at? Oh, everyone's different, right? But like if you're someone who's waiting for a higher time frame trade, right? Like on a weekly or daily chart, how many are you going to get those out of a month, right? Not that many. Right. So it's like when you do see that opportunity, right, that presents itself, you got to go. Now I'm not like as aggressive as I used to because I'm trying to rack up in terms of capital with funding programs and stuff like that. But like it makes sense, and everyone trades differently, dude. So I don't criticize someone who goes ahead and his whole philosophy is like, hey, if I keep flipping $3,000 accounts to 30 grand, yeah, I might lose. Like if I do it 5 times, I might blow up like 2 of the accounts, but the 3 account flips that I do have, is going to make up for all the accounts that I've blown. Listen, I could respect that because they're still extracting money from the markets. Now, you know, I even tweeted about it today. Like, if someone has that philosophy, though, I think if they're going to be on social media, just be honest with people. Like, hey, man, I blew this account.
Right. You know, don't just show leverage. The wins of those
exactly because
flips, because then it's unrealistic.
100%. Because then people exactly, and it gives a false persona and a facade of that type of style, which again, that style is fine. Like, I don't criticize anyone who goes about it. There's a lot more people that do that type of stuff than they like to admit.
Right.
But again, but people won't admit it because they think that it's the wrong way to go about it. But hey, man, if it works for you and you're honest with people about how, hey, I blew this account that I started with 10 grand, but this account that from 10 grand took it to 100 plus, like, listen, respect. You still ended up the account, like, even within the two accounts, you know, you blew 10,000, you took another 10,000 to 100K. You're still up like 80K in profit when you kind of like do the math. So
no, and that's just doing the math. So and it makes sense. I know some people listening will be like, well, I don't want to trade that way. Well, that's fine. That's not the one size. Like we said, it's not one size fits all. Everyone will find a different way, or you won't, and then it just won't be what you do. That's really as simple as it is. So now, having worked with and having grown into a strong, successful trader yourself, and you're working with some guys that are really successful traders, if it's not a one size fits all, that would then mean that there are a lot of ways to make money trading. So what do you think separates, or what's in the gap between winning traders and winning strategies? How do you bring those things together to exploit profit? How does that happen?
There's so many things. And especially now, like with the academy, and like working with people in the Discord, like, and kind of seeing like the people who are kind of like having the most success, right? From like my students, it's so many factors.
What are some biggest things, some of the characteristics that stand out to you?
Yeah, I feel like the ones that are the most, like, in terms of humble, where they don't have that much ego. Those are a lot of them, like, they're very I don't want to say humble, but they're like, well, they are humble, but they also they have a lot of gratitude. That's the word I'm looking for. They have a lot of gratitude.
For what?
See the way that they talk. I don't know, just like they just have this persona about them, like they're just grateful for life. Yeah. Like they just have this like the way that they talk with each other in the Discord, you know what I mean? It's always positive energy.
Optimistic.
They're always optimistic, exactly. Like losing days, they'll still post it, and then they'll talk about, like, you know, things they messed up on, but they have this sense of like it doesn't phase them in terms of, like, no one likes to lose, right? But it doesn't ruin their confidence. I think confidence,
and it doesn't throw them off track.
Exactly. Like, hey man, I just had a bad day, I had a bad week, and you know, it's just like, all right, well, on to the next day, you know what I mean?
James does that really well. I gotta give James credit for that. James you had a bad day this week, right, James?
Yeah, on Tuesday. Yeah.
But posted the loss, posted the daily report card, showed the mistakes, move forward. What are we going to do? Cry about it? No, we'll learn from it and use it. I think that's the thing, is you take that mistake and use it as fuel to then be better, or you run from it and you don't take accountability from it, and then it lingers on you like a dark cloud, and then you trade like shit because of it. You know, you don't learn anything from it.
Yep, that's very true.
Dude, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's also the thing, is like you're going to take losses as traders. It's inevitable. That's what I put on my daily report card. But yes, I was quite aggressive with my first entry. I entered too soon. It's going to happen. We're going to take losses. But as you say, you've got to learn from them. It's what's done is done. You can't go back in the past and change it, but you can change what you can do in the future. And I think that's also a big thing about the traders that I know I was listening to like 8-figure traders and that too. And I know we also love S&B Capital also now. And I think there's actually, there was a podcast with Chat with Traders where Shark, you know, Kenny Sharkness spoke with Chat with Traders. There's actually this, he was speaking about like his big $100,000 loss when he first got into into the prop firm, and he had to actually cut down on his salary from S&B Capital because he had to pay back some of the gains. They worked out how he's going to pay back. And look, he's still trading for them. So it was, I don't know if it was at S&B, but it was at a prop firm where he had to like cut down on his base salary to give back, help pay back the firm. Because he backed himself, and the firm backed him. Okay, cool, you can stay here. We know you can make money, but you just had to one stuff up. And he actually said that. I don't know what you mean by. Okay, Siri. He actually said that that this one prop firm actually doesn't hire traders that haven't been through a traumatic experience of having a big blow up or something like that, because that's where great traders are made. that's where great traders are actually made. They either blow up and they give up, or they make it. They blow up and they make it. So it's quite cool to see that every single like big trader has been through a traumatic experience in trading. Yeah, but just something I also wanted to ask Omar coming into today as well is that I read a lot of your tweets. I don't get involved in some of the arguments. I do like reading them though for the amusement.
Omar keeps it real though, bro. I love it. I
love it. I love his tweets. I just like and retweet, and then if anyone wants to comment on my thing, I just block them. But
that's how it's done.
Bro, I've blocked and muted so many people on Twitter that like just come with baseless arguments. But anyway, I remember you were arguing. You tweeted something like, Forex is more clean than indices. Mutes thread, tweet about a month ago or something like that. What are your thoughts on because I know you said you trade both. What's your thoughts on Forex and indices?
You know what it is, man? It's just, I think with indices, you get a lot more whipsaw price action.
Look at today.
On a regular basis. Yeah. Well, no, that's what I was gonna say, on a regular basis. Like let's just say we take out the news. Yeah, big news days like CPI, like FOMC, NFP. Let's just like we cut those out, right? Like even then, like there's just so much volatile wicks that just get you kind of like tripped up, or they'll do an extended like stop hunt. Like it's just, I don't know. For me, like that's the thing. There's going to be like a lot of traders who are going to disagree with this.
Yeah, because I make money trading the indices. You know, so it's so funny to hear. Right. So it's interesting to hear.
I was just about to say, Austin.
I say the same thing about gold.
On that.
Right. I say the same thing about gold. Gold to me is so volatile. I'm like, I don't want to trade that. Those wicks are crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but it's interesting because like you said, not one size. That's the title of today's episode. Not one size fits all. But keep going. You were saying about the indices.
No, but exactly. I was getting to that too. Like, because I've seen Austin. That's why I said like it also depends maybe on the strategy or whatever. Because I've seen Austin. His focus has been primarily just crypto and indices because his system wasn't working for Forex in this current market. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's the thing. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I just like to see clean price action. I like to see like price action, kind of respect levels without having to kind of wick through them multiple times. And I don't know. I just feel like with Forex, specifically on Euro, I get that type of price action I look for more oftentimes than not. Even a week like this week where like Euro was like really consolidating, people look at the higher time frame, like the 4 hour time, and they'll see so much wicks and so much back and forth. But like even on the 15-minute time frame, which is like my entry time frame, right? M5, M15, like there's still a lot of moves. The only difference is like in a market like this, where everything's a little bit like, consolidating, you just have to take profits faster. And that's one thing I want to talk about as well, is like so many people always say like you have to be able to adapt to different market conditions. Or like, and some people are worried like, oh my God, is my strategy not going to work? But I think it's not even about the strategy. Like some strategies are going to work better in consolidation versus trends. That's just like normal, right? But I think it's also about how are you going to manage the trade? Because if you're in a trending market, you shouldn't take, in my opinion, you shouldn't take profits too soon, right? You should hold a little bit longer when you know, okay, like, dude, this market has been clearly trending. We've been trending on every time frame. Every time frame is in conjunction with one another. Maybe I should hold this trade. Or if like, let's say a week like this week where there's a lot of news, so we might not see like extended price action, but we're still going to get setups, right? We just might not see that extended move because, there's a lot of news events on Wednesday, Thursday. And I messed up on this. This was kind of like the realization I realized this week. And I always know like in consolidation, I got to stop holding because I'll give up so much floating profit because I'll be up, let's say 2 hour or something like that. But then I'll hold because I'm like, all right, well, this 4 hour level I'm watching for, I want it to get hit and it won't get hit till, you know what I mean? To like later on in the week.
Right.
And I gave up floating profit because I just got to stop that break even. Well, so I think it's important to kind of determine that.
Yeah. And you've been trading EurUsd as it's been on a crazy trend while the dollar index has been ripping to the upside, EurUsd. So I'm assuming a lot of your trades have probably been short, right? When you've been trading EurUsd over the last couple of months, I'd say, right? What do you think? Do you know the statistics of how many you have long versus short on EurUsd? I'd be curious.
No, honestly, I don't even, I'd have to check, but it's weird because like, even though like it's been trending on the weekly, but like every week there's like a different bar. So like,
it could be for sure. For sure. Yeah, it's just been
like a bullish overall candle.
Right. It's been an overall downtrend, but like you said, there's money to be made up and down along the way down. Absolutely. Well, look at the ADR, like the average daily range of EurUsd has gone up tremendously over the last couple of months. Go back a few years ago, ADR on EurUsd was 60, 70 pips. Like small, like it wasn't moving a lot. So it's picked up a lot too. So I think you're trading the right pair right now too. Like you picked a pair that's in trend. Not that there aren't other pairs. JPY pairs have had strong trend as well. GBP, even GBP USD was on a strong downtrend similar to Euro USD. So there's other trends out there, but I think a lot of it, you're probably making a lot of money correlated to the dollar, bro. Like as the US dollar is gaining strengths against other fiat currencies, you're making money shorting Euro USD in some days or buying Euro USD in some days, riding that dollar volatility. The dollar trade has been a trade for a lot 100%. Of people, you know, even me, like if you look at what's trading indices, if the dollar gains strength, we've seen money flow out of stocks as the dollar goes up. So it sets up trades in the indices too, you know? So it's very interesting. The dollar has become, I think, the head of everything. If it wasn't already, it's just very clear that it is.
Yeah.
So talk about the inflation today, bro. Tell me what you think about this, because the whipsaw move today, we knew that everything was going to come lower. Everything was saying everything's going to sell off today. So it sells off right on the news. It bottoms out 30 minutes later, and then it rises into the market open, and it rises all day today. I think everything's gone green. What's your feeling on that? Is that a fundamental, it was priced in and now this is the reaction because it was already priced in? Like, how do you read a reaction like that? Because that's tricky.
Yeah, dude. And you know, like this, I'm thinking about someone in particular too, who like, you know, trying to act a little bit smart with me on Twitter, but like they're like always talking about like the fundamentals and stuff like that. Like, oh, how do you not know the difference between FOMC meetings or the FOMC minutes or the FOMC actuals? I'm like, dude, when I say FOMC, I'm just referring from the 2 o'clock to the 2:30. Like I know it's two different events, but like I'm just like, but you know how like people just try to act a little bit smart.
Of course.
But like, dude, and this is a perfect example because I know he was like, oh yeah, dollar. If you're bullish on euro and you're bearish on dollar, like, you know, you're crazy. And like giving all these fundamental reasoning, and then like look at today's news. Everything went like you said, as expected, dude. And then what happens, right? You get the false move down, right? I mean, that's the thing. You can make money either side. So like, I'm not saying that person couldn't have made money.
Sure.
They could have, but what if they were holding for a big move? I saw some other guy on Twitter, just some random dude. I think it just posted on my feed. They were like bringing up all the data and they're like, oh, everything, short everything, right?
Right.
After the news release, and then look what happens. You know what I mean? So if you try to sell on your retracements, you got you know, taken out pretty much.
Yep.
And this is why I don't like. This is why, man. Everyone's gonna be different, but I do not. This is exactly why I do not care for fundamentals, because I don't want to have a specific bias based off. Again, I'm not, for someone who's a position trader or a very long-term trader, that's a different story. But dude, the day-to-day doesn't really matter. Anyone with a basic sense could just look at the weekly time frame on euro or dollar, and they just know the basics of market structure. And anyone, even with just moving averages, you could just tell that this is just it's clear trend. You don't have to know the fundamentals or the details. Now, does it add more conviction to the trade, especially if you're a position trader? Of course, because you know that there's a fundamental reason behind it. So it might make your conviction a little bit more strong. So it's easier for you to hold on to a move as a swing trader. But dude, day to day, it doesn't really matter to me. I'm just playing from one level to the next. And I think that's what's so annoying sometimes with these fundamental guys who have like big egos. It's like they try to make it seem like, oh yeah, if you don't know the fundamentals, right, like you're crazy. And
you're
like,
so right, bro. You're so fucking right, because these are always the guys.
It's so crazy.
They always want to be right more than they want to make money. It seems like as long as they're right, even if they didn't make any money, fuck, it's all that matters. They knew what was going to happen. That's
right.
Yeah, that's these guys, bro. It's crazy.
Dude.
But you know what,
insane,
bro?
Dude. I think
I'm not trying,
except for Twitter.
I don't want to group people together, but I feel like these are the same people. Like if you had a short bias today and you're looking at the shorts going into the news, I had an idea a couple minutes before the news, like 45 minutes before the news, to throw in shorts. I missed the move as you did today, but I can still generate that idea. And now looking back at that idea, seeing that it falls in my situation, 3R, the same guy that thinks you have to know and be right about fundamentals is the same guy that thinks or would not take profit on that move at 3R. But if I catch a 3R move on news, you know, since we've spoken last, and the way that I trade, I'm locking my stop loss. I'm taking profits on the way. I'm very, as you said earlier, grateful for that move, rather than be like, it's falling, I'm holding all day, I gotta be right, biggest move of the year. Those are those guys, bro. So you can group these people, as we said before, like the winning characteristics versus the losing characteristics. And I think one of the things that stuck with me, I don't know who said it might have been SMB, but it's like, don't worry about being right, just make money. Like, it does not matter if you're right or wrong. It might have been Paul Tudor Jones, because Paul Tudor Jones is one of those guys that'll lose 6 trades, win the 7th, and it'll pay for all the losses and some. You know, he's that guy. He doesn't care if he loses. He's looking for those wins, those big wins that make a lot of money. So I think that there's a lot of validity to that approach, you know?
Yeah, and Paul Tudor Jones, like, dude, he's the futures trader who makes like fucking millions of dollars per trade, right?
Dude, one of the most successful hedge fund managers of all time. Right. But people will say, like,
it's crazy, dude.
People will bash, like, James has a high win rate. We work with some, and I have a high win rate. James will work with people, and they'll be like, I don't know if my win rate will ever get that high. I don't need it to get that high. I want to win at 40%, and I'll just take 3R, and I'll get. So everyone has a different belief system about trading and about how trading should be done. And then how much they believe in that belief will determine if they can be open-minded to learn new things or not. You know what I mean? And adapt in market conditions, like you said, Omar. So, like, for us, and you've learned it this week, the taking profits aggressively in this weird bear market that we're in is key, because everybody, I mean, you know, a lot of people through Instagram and Twitter and social media. I'm sure you know a lot of people that used to have day trader in their bio, or used to be always talking and tweeting about, and now they're not. They're gone. A lot of guys are getting blown out, which, like you said, you almost want to do the opposite. You don't want to hold the trades that are winners for a long time. You want to start bagging those wins and mitigating that risk faster now because of the current condition. So are you seeing a lot of people that you were, you know, they were talking about trading all the time, and now they've kind of backed off? Because I know I am.
Yeah, but majority of them were like stock traders, to be honest. Because a lot of, I think during the stock, when we were just in a bull market all of 2020 going into 2021, like, there was a lot of people, like, they would only just buy calls on every massive dip, and then it would eventually work because the market would always recover to new highs. And then, like, majority of them, I don't see anyone, like, dude, on Instagram I would see friends and family, and like, it was just crazy. Like, everyone was like trading options, and now it's like you don't hear anything of anyone anymore. But that's what I'm saying. Like, most of those people, they kind of just thought trading as like a get rich quick type of ordeal when there was in a bull market. It's the same way in crypto, you know, like in crypto, I don't hear, like, my Twitter feed is like so much less populated with crypto stuff ever since, like, you know, crypto's just been dumping, you know, and it's probably going to change when crypto goes back in a bull market. And it's just one of those situations, man, where I think it kind of weeds out people who are genuinely in it to become a trader versus someone who's not, you know?
Yep. So what are you reading nowadays? Are you reading anything trading related, or are you taking any courses to kind of push yourself a little bit further? I know you said you bought some modules from Tom Dante. I'm actually taking a portfolio diversification course from a guy on YouTube that I found. So I'm curious to know, what are you reading and what are you doing to push yourself further? Because now you don't want to become the coach that doesn't keep learning, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, the thing is, everything that I'm doing now is all psychology and performance related. So because like, dude, I already know like how I want. Like, I know I'm very consistent with my approach to the markets, and I know, like, whether the market's consolidating, trending, whatever. I know I can make money in any market because I have different, like, you know, strategies. So I know I'm set on that side in terms of the technical aspect of things. So yeah, now everything is just based off performance. I was reading a book called I think it was Tom Hugard, Best Losers Win, something like that. Yeah, I was talking about it on Twitter as well. Like, so that was a good book because it kind of puts into perspective how the top earners in trading, and not even just trading, in any sports or any performance field, how they kind of approach it. And that's kind of what I've been doing now, is just trying to find any source of information of, you know, how do top performers perform. It doesn't have to be in trading because it's all going to relate,
of course,
regardless, right? It's like, if you could learn how to and in Tom Hugard's book, one thing that he really like drive home in with the top performers, whether it's in trading, whether it's in what's it called, different sports like golf, like he brought up Tiger Woods. He said Tiger Woods had like this really inept skill where he could just like he could hit like I don't even know the golf terms, but it's like if you hit like a bad swing, he can completely just the next swing he just completely forgets about the prior one. Same thing with like Kobe Bryant. Like, he doesn't care. That's why he takes so many shots, because it's like his mindset is like, all right, that past shot doesn't matter anymore. I'm focused on now. And the ability to kind of put those things behind them in any performance related activity is what separated a lot of people from greatness. Obviously, outside of skill set, because skill sets are going to be number one at the end of the day. But it's the same thing with trading. Like, how many times do we kind of harbor that prior trade into the current trade or the next one, when realistically, and they have no correlation. This guy named Futures, I think his Futures Trader 71, he was on Chat with Traders. I was listening to this podcast, and he was talking about it as well, right? Like, he's like, dude, the number one thing, and he has like a whole system of like training, and he realized the number one thing after people learn technicals, in terms of issues that most of the traders have, is they have this attachment to the prior trade. And he said that's the number one thing that he's personally found, and he has a broker as well, that really stops a lot of traders from progressing, because they have this attachment. When, like, dude, it's, you brought up earlier, James, like, if he had a bad day earlier in the week, you know, he won't allow it to stop him from like performing the following day. And that ability is super, super, super underrated, man, because you know, like, any trader who's being honest with themselves, they know that they had a period in time where the next day, all right, I just lost X amount, so I'm going to over leverage today to make it back. You know what I mean? Versus just going back to the proper way to go about things. Or like, well, damn, I just shorted yesterday and I got stopped out, and this short setup is sitting up again. I'm timid, and then they missed the trade, and that's what. And then that one ends up working, right? Like, I've had a friend who has that issues. Like, they really have that.
Been there, bro. That's been all of us at some point.
Exactly. And even to this day, like, sometimes you still have to like kind of be consciously aware of it, because you know, sometimes it might seep in. And I think that's the number one thing I've been trying to do, listen to so many different podcasts. And again, not even just trading related, just people who are higher performers, because you can always extract information on how you can improve your performance. And I spoke with I actually did a podcast with somebody earlier in the week, and I was telling them, like, dude, I think it was off camera, when I was telling them, like, you know, with trading, it's not like any other business. Like, if you set up a business with, like, you know, sales and proper marketing, you have a funnel, all that other stuff, right? You can kind of automate that to an extent, right? You can have employees working, and then you're kind of like the leader, right? And then you can generate, you know, there's guys who are generating 10 million plus, you know what I mean, just, you know, with their marketing and sales ability, and they have their system kind of on autopilot. Some guy named Alex Ramosi talked about it, of
course,
as well. And
I love his book.
Yeah, and his book is great. Oh, dude, he's a beast. Yeah, he's a beast, bro. Him and his wife.
Yep.
And like, he even talked about it. He's like, dude, I only work like maybe 3 hours a day. I don't really have that much throughout my week. And he's making $100 million a year, you know, which is insane. But in trading, we don't have that luxury, dude. We have to come to perform. It's not passive at all. And it's just and that's why I was talking with the guy I did a podcast with off camera. I'm like, bro, like, we have to perform. That's why it's important to always keep the performance aspect of how I'm feeling and all this stuff, because all it takes is one bad day, man, to like wipe out so many gains. And it's happened to every single trader. Well, and that's why some traders, I think, they don't want to show like their track record, because I feel like most traders are actually pretty okay, man. They really are, but then they don't want to show that one day and a big drop in equity. Exactly. And that's why most traders wouldn't show it. But it's like, dude, if you cut out those days, that person has a smooth equity curve. Right. But it's those 1 or 2 days that get them.
Well, you know what? I think you make a great point. The studying the psychology, this is something that James and I constantly even push each other to do. You know, I send him content, he sends me videos. We're constantly trying to just share that good information, because I think trading requires an extreme level of focus. So you used other words to say that, Omar, but I think it's like that day where it blows up, it's lapse in focus. You break your edge, you fall off your rules that have worked for you because your focus isn't there. You didn't sleep well, you didn't eat well, you didn't do the routine, you didn't do the things that help you be in that peak performance state. So studying successful people and how they stay in that peak performance A game, right? So like that's what Jared Tendler calls it. Yeah, you got to stay in. How do you? And I think that it does translate to a lot of stuff off the charts too, like what you do off the charts. And at the same time as trading being a thing we have to show up and perform for, James is a good example. Like, he's not trading some Fridays. I'm not trading some Fridays. Like, why work hard all week and still you have to grind it out? Like, you should still be able to go enjoy that time and then have the focus time where you do make all of your money, you know? So I think it takes a unique perspective to get to that point of understanding, right? And it takes extreme focus to be able to consistently trade well. That's like the hardest part. I think, James, when you think back to like what's helped improve focus for you, and I know you've been smoking your vape less, I'm curious to know, do you think you're more focused with less vape? Don't pull the vape out right now and blow it on the
spot. No, I actually, to be honest, I haven't vaped. Yeah, I haven't vaped. This is the second week now. I haven't vaped. I think actually you make a good point about the vape. I think sometimes you have to.
You're like, I actually can think clearly now. So maybe.
Yeah, you actually think, there's no fog. There's no fog in front of my face. But I think sometimes, we get addicted to certain things, whatever it is for you, chocolate, whatever, you name it. But I think sometimes when you cut that out of your life, you actually have, you don't have that mental fog in front of you, like you're actually able to make clear 100%. Decisions and 100%. Think with your prefrontal cortex and actually not think with, for guys, many times it's the wrong head, but
exactly. Yeah.
But I think like whether it's like drinking alcohol or something or anything, you're able to make sound decisions, and that helps. Traders don't realize how much that actually affects them on the stuff they do off the desk affects them on the desk. I think definitely in the last like if I took the 2 losses yesterday, I took on Tuesday. So I had 2 losses in a row. I would have probably been vaping the rest of the day because I'm so pissed. But I actually went and I was like chilled. I went to CrossFit and I just was like, cool, it happens,
That's it. So that's good, bro.
Vape and whatever, and then come back the next 100%. Day pissed off, But yeah, I think I just think a big thing of it is your habits off the desk, dude.
James is thinking, why the fuck did you ask me that question, bro? On the conversation. Now it's in the recording. So listen, Omar, I got one more important question, bro. What are you doing about the Giants, bro? Like, what are you doing?
The Giants.
The Giants
are football?
Yeah, the Giants are terrible, bro. What are you going to do about
it? They're 4-0.
No, the Eagles are 4-0. Get out of here.
No, the Eagles are 5-0. The Giants are 4-1.
4-1. Yeah, the Giants have a loss. Eagles are the only my birds are the only team undefeated still.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts.
That makes sense. I'm like, wait, the Giants are actually doing good this year.
But bro,
I'm an Eagles fan.
Yeah, I'm a Birds fan, bro.
Oh, by the way, I also wanted to say just on camera as Omar says, it's like,
what do we got now?
It's like as an adult film star on and off camera. But Amanda, my girlfriend Amanda and her family are actually leaving to Egypt tomorrow.
Oh shit, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
Oh really?
Because I know you originally from Egypt, right, Omar?
Did we lose?
No, yeah. So it's funny because my mom, dad, and both my brothers are actually going to Egypt next week also. So it's like I had an opportunity to go with them, but then I'm like, I had an opportunity to go, but I'm like, you know what? I like staying in like a workflow type of state. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, bro, but you passed up on the Egypt trip. I'm kind of judging you on that, bro. Like I would have gone. I'll go with your family, bro. My work can wait.
I also passed up on it, to be honest, as well.
Why did you not go, James? What's wrong with you?
I'm going to visit that's one country you don't need to be vaccinated to go to, but I'm going home to visit my family. So I was like, I'm going home. Yeah.
Way to plug the vaccine thing in there to make sure everybody knows that you're not vaccinated. Shout out to you.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Little disclaimer there.
I will confirm that's a positive.
I will confirm. That's awesome. But listen, Omar, this has been great, bro. I appreciate you coming back on for round 2. Of course, we'll see the comments. We'll see if we've got to do a round 3. I'm sure we will at some point in the future, but hopefully you'll make your way down here to Florida at some point. We can link up and have a drink in person. When you decide to take a break from workflow and come have some fun flow, you come down to Florida. We'll hang out on the boat. We'll have a good time.
Yeah, Omar does that hookah.
What'd you say?
Omar does that hookah.
It's a hookah, yeah.
So wait, listen, Omar, tell everybody where they can find you. Give them the Instagram, give them the Twitter, let them know where they can find you and all that stuff.
Yeah, man. Best way to honestly get in contact with me is on Twitter. I actually don't know my Twitter handle. Let me pull it up. Omar Agag 6. And my Instagram is train_and_trade. That's the way you could also find me if you guys want me on Instagram, but I'm more active on Twitter. And yeah, also if you guys are interested in my content, I do have a YouTube channel as well. Train and Trade. You could just find it there. I just started the channel a couple months ago.
So we make sure we spam that for you, bro. I'll put the link in the description like I did last time.
Oh yeah,
we send some more subscribers. But listen, bro.
Appreciate that, bro.
Keep it up. Keep up everything you're doing. Me and James love giving you the support. We love what you're doing on Twitter. We love the social growth. Keep stirring the pot. I love getting in there when you're calling people out. That's like my favorite little thing. I'm on the back when I'm faking it. I'm in the back like, woo, 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 let's go. You know what I'm saying? I'm cheering you on from the back.
For sure,
so,
man.
Keep it up, bro.
Oh, yeah,
we love
for
to
sure.
love seeing you doing well, and we'll talk to you in the next episode.
All right. Thanks for having me on, guys. Yeah, appreciate it. Hope you guys do well as well.
Thanks, brother.